I don't think they're going to stop till they indict you, Donald Trump. Will you run for president anyway, even if you're indicted?
Well, I can't imagine being indicted. I've done nothing wrong. I don't think the people of the United States would stand for it. And as you know, if a thing like that happened, I would have no prohibition against running. You know that. You've already
I do.
said
And that's what I want people to understand. That would not take you out of the arena.
it would not. But I think if it happened, I think you'd have problems in this country, the likes of which perhaps we've never seen before. I don't think the people of the United States would stand for it.
So, of course, that's just more threats from Donald Trump. He's feeling under pressure from the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago and what's come out legally since then. And so he is telling his people, the tens of millions who still somehow support him after all this time, that this is unacceptable. And just saying they're not going to accept it, there will be problems. There was a follow-up from Hugh Hewitt asking what sorts of problems. And of course, Trump isn't going to say. He's just minimally savvy. And he doesn't want to specifically say more coups, more insurrection, more attempts to assassinate individual politicians. But clearly the threat is there. And we're going to get to some of the developments in the case, but I wanted to give our panel a chance to weigh in on Donald Trump, you know, in the wake of an attack against the FBI in Cincinnati, in a week that has seen multiple either successful murderous attacks by QAnon cultists or attempted ones. Donald Trump once again indicating to his audience that political violence might be necessary.
Yeah, I'm going to start on a smaller point and go to a larger one. He said in the beginning of that clip, I can't imagine why I'd be indicted. Sean Hannity did a segment on his show the other day on Fox News where he listed 30 crimes that he's been charged with. Thank you, Sean, by the way, for that ad. We appreciate it. So that there are allegations against him on. I should be clear about that. Not that he's been technically charged. There's a reason why he might be charged. In fact, there's 30 reasons why you might be charged. And actually, Hannity left out some. Okay, so, but in his infinite entitlement, he's like, I'm a wealthy kind of white right-winger. I can't imagine why I'd be charged just for breaking the law 30 times. And there's some truth to that, because in this country, those folks never do get charged. And he hasn't gotten charged for dozens and dozens of crimes. So that's the one thing he's partly being honest about. Now, look, the threats are super obvious. And context is important here. If like a rando, a nurse told you there's going to be, a doctor told you there's going to be consequences in this country that we can't imagine, you might think like, oh, I wonder if there's health consequences they know about, we don't know about, they're warning us about a disease or something like that, right? When Trump tells you that after his supporters already broke into the Capitol and people were killed and people charged with all sorts of crimes against the state, having now gotten many years in prison, and he chanted about murdering his vice president. We now know that he did not mind that they were chanting about murdering his vice president. The context of all of the right-wing extremism, the synagogue shootings, the church shootings, the racial shootings, the kidnapping of the plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, et cetera, et cetera. In that context, him saying, "Oh, we could have problems like nobody's ever seen in this country," well, that's a clear threat. And he's not semi-fascist; he's fully fascist. And if you can't see that, you're trying super hard not to see it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, well, amen to everything you just said, Jen. He's ginning up his base. And he's doing it in the broad open daylight. He's not even leaving anything to the imagination, just as he has before. The man is delusional and he is dangerous because, John, also, as you pointed out, he does have tens of millions of people. I mean, I think the man got, 70 million votes or 70 million plus votes. Not saying that all of these people would be at his beck and call. However, there are way too many people who will, i.e. what happened on January the 6th. People, we need to really keep an eye on this, the Department of Justice and everybody else, because when he says these types of things, there are far too many people willing to act on them. And he's still saying that 2020 was a hoax. So he's still not willing to admit that he absolutely lost this race. This is problematic for all of us.
And by the way, I want to add, to his threats and to, so frequently, virtually everyone in right-wing media talks about, they are constantly predicting civil war if they don't get their way, regardless of what the issue is. If everything doesn't come up exactly as they want, civil war is going to happen. There's going to be riots in the streets, all that. The senators, the politicians, even people who don't identify as MAGA people, Meghan McCain would constantly talk about it. Like if they do anything with guns, there's going to be civil war, and they effectively never, maybe 1% of the time, then go on to say, and that would be bad. Trump did not say there will be problems. People won't stand for it. There will be riots in the streets, and that can't happen because political violence is obviously illegitimate, and we will fight people on the battlefield of ideas, never physically. I mean, it's ridiculous to even bring up the possibility of him talking in that way, but he's not going to say it. He's always going to leave it open. There might be chaos, and maybe that's okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe I like it. Maybe I don't. I'm not going to tell you. You fill in the blanks for you, like for yourself. The craziest people in the country, you decide if it might be necessary. Now we'll see.
Well, we know he likes it. I mean, we know he likes it because we have January the 6th to show us very much how this man rolls. I mean, he sits back and he revels in this. This is his energy. The man got more lives than a cat. You talk about 9 lives. The man has 50,000 lives. I can't even begin to understand how he continues to be able to get away with all of this stuff, but he does continue to get away with it. He's almost like well, I'm not even going to say that, but let's just say this. We need to take very seriously what he is saying and how he is ginning up his base, because they will obey him.